So if he can just walk, I'm honestly really happy. Because he does this. Oh. And this is the problem we have with Shorty, is he doesn't turn his head. But, hey guys, let's train my newly gelded horse. So if you're new here, I'm Sarah and this is Shorty, ? We're still trying to come up with a name, but that is his tentative one for right now.
That's what they called him right now.
Yeah, that's what they called him at his barn, and we're just kind of feeling it out and seeing if we like it. But if you are new here, Shorty, I purchased him a week ago, and he was a stallion, and he was gelded just 3 days ago. So now we are doing all the post-gelding prep or treatments. So he needs to be exercised for 15 minutes a day. And our biggest issues right now is Shorty was only partially halter broke when we brought him home. And so he has gotten a bit better, but he also has a bit of a habit of kind of dragging people. Not maliciously, but you can tell he's kind of gotten away with using his size to his advantage. And if he no longer wants to participate, he will just turn and walk away. And he doesn't really have a lot of bend to him. So before we get started, I'm going to see if we can start working on building that bend. So what I did a lot with Vagar and what I've done with other horses is I will get them used to putting the rope around their head, and I'll move towards the hindquarters and teach them to follow that rope. So we're still learning about our hindquarters, and this is the problem we have with Shorty, is he doesn't turn his head until he gets himself in a corner. And so that's been basically our biggest issue with Shorty. That is definitely his worst side, but he decides he's just kind of done participating. So we'll see how we do a check-in on the other side. Ooh, for right now. So this side, he's much better. And this side, he's actually been able to lunge very lightly, but we're still trying to work on building that bend going the other way. So this way he's actually doing it like, this is how I want him. Yeah, that was pretty good. He anticipated it a little bit. I would have liked for him to like wait a second until I actually asked him. So that's that way. Yeah, okay. So he did pretty good for the opposite side, but this, let me do his side that he struggles more on again and see if we can get him to bend nicely. So we're just asking him to turn, and this one he struggles. Let's see.
He doesn't turn.
He just doesn't want to bend his neck to the right. And I'm kind of, there we go. The reason I like this turning bit, that was very nice, so we're just gonna give him some pets and to let him know he did a good job. But since he doesn't bend that way, I mean, that's gonna be an issue that'll follow through in all of his training. I don't wanna hop on a horse to ride if he can't bend his neck to the right to turn.
Let's try it again.
So let's just, and the way I'm kind of getting him to learn to bend. So see, now he's going the wrong way. Ooh. It's, ooh. Got a little assistant. So there. Yes. Yeah, because you're standing in his escape corner. So that was not the best. And the reason we're doing this at such a slow pace, is because he's I mean, he's a full-size draft horse. He doesn't really take any extra strength to get away from you. But trying to use also his hips, like that should be discouraging him when he feels that little bit. But he's just kind of not wanting to get it. So that's been a big issue for us. I don't know if you guys have run into this before, but he's very stiff turning to the right. He just doesn't understand moving away from you. Ooh. And here, hey. There. And I'm trying to find some sort of, there we go, some sort of angle to manipulate him better, because if he doesn't have any bend to him, his neck is straight, I have no leverage to kind of move him. He's very different from, even though, you know, horses are full-size animals. Sorry, I'm so winded. Goodness, that's a workout for me. It's very different with these draft horses. They've got these very thick necks and they're designed to pull. So a lighter horse like Vagar, they tend to have a little bit more limberness, a little bit more bend naturally in their body, at least in my experience. And drafts and donkeys don't. But my biggest thing is to just teach him how to be very light, like that, turning one way, and be just as light the other way. So see, even just this can be a bit of a struggle for him. So we're trying to find some balance for him. And I'll be honest, I am looking to source. I have been to every tack store in the North Texas area, and I cannot find draft size tack, even at the giant like super centers. So I am looking online to source something, because I don't normally like training in a flat halter, and especially using an extra wide flat halter. There's just no, I mean, it's super comfortable for him. He just leans into it and he doesn't understand why we're trying to move off of it. Okay, so we're gonna try it from the side just so we can feel it going both ways.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
No pulling issue.
See, yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example. Like he just didn't seem like he got what we were trying to ask from him.
That's crazy, we figured it out live.
Yeah, so that's good. Good, shorty. Now that we figured that out, so we do need to try to see if he will lunge.
We'll clip the thing to the side and lunge him from the side.
Yeah, we'll do this to try and keep him from turning and just ditching, just ditching me. It is super, super hot outside. He is prescribed 15 minutes of lunging, and I don't think we're gonna do a full 15 minutes because the big guy gets winded after like 5 minutes, and it is 100 degrees outside right now, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is very hot, very humid, and I don't want him to have any issues with the heat, because he is also terrified of the water hose, so we can't use the hose to cool him off. We just have to walk him to cool him down. So big guy is going through it at the moment. So the biggest thing that has been recommended to us by multiple people since we brought him home is to start getting him used to the saddle while he's recovering from his castration. And that is because he's a full-size draft horse. He's already over 2 years old, and he didn't have a whole lot of handling. So it's kind of to prevent more of a struggle later. So I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab a pad and a surcingle just as an introduction, and then we're gonna go ahead and work him. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the pad and the surcingle on him. He has had it on at one time. I put it on him like the first day he was here just so he could get a feel for it, and he handled it pretty good. The way I like showing the younger horses is I show them the pad and then I kind of walk away from it, so they're wondering like, what is that thing? Where are you going with it? So I do that and then I just rub it on him. And I let him move a little bit and just kind of feel him out. So as long as things aren't introduced to him scary, He seems to be pretty curious, pretty willing to figure it out. And this is the side he struggles with handling more. I think he just doesn't have a lot of experience on this side. So we have done a bit of the flappies and getting him used to the pad, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then I just like to jingle the surcingle again so you can hear it and just kind of see what we're working with and just see what's going on. But he did really well when he had it on before. That was the first time he had it on, and then this is his second time. And I mean, he's standing really well. He's a little unsure, but he's not making poor decisions. And I'm okay if he's turning to look at me and see what I'm doing, because it's all new. I want him to know what's coming. And then, ooh. Since he moved a little bit, I'm just gonna hold the girth there, let it go. Just let him feel it for a second before we just tighten it up. There you go. I know, I need to get it on before you walk off though. All right. And I was actually really surprised. The surcingle I use for Vagar actually fits this guy. Just for like general size reference, she's pretty big and he's a little small, so it kind of, everything worked out. But there we go. There's your little pad. You're standing on my lead rope, so I'm gonna ask you to back up. Back up. There you go. And fall into me. There you go. We're working on it. We're working on it. And I'm gonna put on gloves for the lunging in case he decides to ditch me. And we have reintroduced my cone of shame because I've been really bad about wandering. So this is going to be my reference so that I can not be all over the place. But he is doing good. Just pat him. We're keeping it really light, really loose. It is very hot, so he's really just gonna go for like just a couple minutes, literally. But we're gonna go. There we go. And just keep walking. Keep walking. Just let him kind of feel it out. There you go. He looks back at me a lot for reassurance. He's just not certain what we're doing with this. I actually find this quite interesting because I don't really think I've seen many draft horses lunge. So it's definitely kind of a new visual for me. And you can see I'm already wandering a bit. Gotta come back to my cone. And this is another spot where I feel like we're struggling communication-wise. He leans in a lot to that halter. And I'm doing the same thing I did with Vagar, which is it's bumping him so that he's not just pulling on me the whole time. But when I do those light little bumps, he tends to turn his nose because he thinks I'm asking him to stop. So we're just gonna go ahead, keep track of our time, and see if he will just trot a little bit. Doesn't have to be fast, just has to be going. No, don't ditch me. Yeah, he's already like done with lunging. Or he thinks he's done with lunging. Yeah, so when he gets tired, you know he's tired because he starts doing this. He starts looking for ways to just dip out on the session. There we go. There we go. So he's looking there. And he's literally like 2 minutes in. And he says, it's hot, I'm tired, I want to be done. With the resources a little limited, if we had a round pen, it'd be much easier because you wouldn't have to worry about him dragging you away. But we don't have a round pen set up at the moment. And while we have enough panels to set one up, it's not very logical to set one up and take it down every single day while he has to be separated from Vagar. He is getting a majority of the attention this week. We've discovered since he arrived, he has really bad separation anxiety at the moment. Ooh. Sorry, I'm so exhausted, it's so hot. You can take a little break, buddy. So when we brought him home, he was a stallion, so my other horse is a mare. We've kept them separate with 2 fences in between them, but they can see each other. They're stalled very in the same vicinity. But I wanted to take her out because she's used to being turned out, and he like freaked. He lost it and he jumped out of his pen. So big boy over here can jump out of a 5-foot livestock pen. So that is also something to be aware of and a bit of a concern if you're trying to work him in a round pen or a more enclosed space, because if he gets nervous,
he'll send it.
Yeah, he'll just try and ditch you, and he has the capabilities to ditch you. So my friends keep saying that he is destined to be a show jumper, which I really felt like that part of my life, that chapter was closed.
No, it is.
So I will not be jumping him, but he's very athletic for his build. So he's a pretty cool guy. It's not every day you see a draft horse jump 5 feet from a standstill. So we are gonna see if we can get him to go at least for a minute or two on his rougher side, the side he doesn't really like to go.
We've never tried this, so I'm thinking this will fix it, or at least help.
Yeah, so I think, whoa, a fly. I think this should help him. If anything, I would be really happy if he would just walk in this direction without ditching me. Because see, his literal first thought when we ask him to go this way is to say goodbye. There you go. So if he can just walk, I'm honestly really happy. Because he does this. Whoa, whoa. Whoa.
All right, so we've kind of been chasing him for a little while now. We cannot catch him. This is the first time I'm talking on the video. It feels weird. Oh, and she caught him. But she's making sure he doesn't pull, because he does have this big problem where he'll just pull and get loose. And I mean, he's a giant horse, so you cannot hold him. No matter how hard you try to hold onto the rope, he's gonna pull away. So it's a bad habit. We're trying to fix it. Sarah gets real angry.
Wondering if that's why he was cheap.
Wondering if that's why he was cheap. That's fine. We'll fix him. I'm not worried.
Not the first horse I've had to fix it with.
But also, what you said about the halter is right. With that big halter, he's real comfy pulling. And yeah, and if he gets a rope halter, it might be more uncomfortable to pull, so it won't promote the behavior as much. But we finally caught him. I'm gonna give the mic back to Sarah, and are we gonna try to lunge him again?
We're gonna have to work on turns. I think he's dipping out, but I don't want him to be done done working,
Yeah.
because then he's gonna learn that gets him out of work. And the turning you saw me doing, I'm trying to figure out, trying to build in a braking system into this horse, because he doesn't have any whoa, he doesn't have any brakes, he doesn't stop. If you saw when we recorded and he was loose, he'll even step on the lead rope. You know, that's one of the most classic things people will say, and he does not care. He will step on it and just pull and keep walking and pull and keep walking. And he's got this habit already. He came with it, and it needs to be addressed as quickly as possible, because it is not a fun behavior to deal with. And it can be dangerous if you're out in public. So we've definitely got to get it under control. Fly bit me.
But it doesn't feel malicious. It almost feels like he's young and he says, I don't want to do it.
Oh, no, if he was malicious, he would be like kicking or something. He's just saying, I don't want to do this. He always runs either to Vagar or to go into his stall. He's just checking out. He's saying, I'm done. And if it weren't for the fact that he needs to move, he literally needs to move for his surgery, I would be taking it a lot slower, and I would slow down to work on the behavior and not work so much on the exercise. But right now, because of the medical, that's the priority, is he needs to move, he needs to get his heart rate up, and he needs to exercise. So we're kind of doing things a little out of order, but that's just how it is in reality. Sometimes there are things you have to prioritize, and you can't just do what the horse wants to do. We're gonna go ahead and start working on those turns again, working on those brakes, and also just trying to build again. So if you saw, I'll do it on his good side to start. When I'm yielding his hindquarters, the reason I'm doing that is because that'll throw his weight from, instead of being on the back, it'll throw his weight to the front end, and it'll kind of put a bit of a brake on him because he won't have anywhere to go. So I'm lifting my hand to kind of prevent forward motion, and then I'm having him yield his hindquarters. And the idea with this is we're putting a brake. We're getting him to bend his neck and plant his front hooves to stop. So that's why that is the priority at the moment. And he's even just standing here, he's looking for a moment to duck out. So I think a portion of that is going to be prevention. Dealing with that is going to be a lot of prevention. You gotta have a little sympathy for him too. He spent the beginning of his life not being handled much and just kind of living it up out in the pasture with some cows. And he has since moved to a completely different state, completely different lifestyle. He got castrated, and now he's being forced to exercise and work. So right now I think he's a little miffed that he's not just getting to be lazy and do whatever he wants. So we're going to work on yielding this side.
Which is his bad side.
Yes. So we're just going to ask him to go a little bit. And there we go, there we go. And I'm just lightly tapping. I'm also trying to keep an eye on his back legs. I want him to be crossing his legs over correctly. I don't want him to be doing any sidestepping or awkward hops. So I'll ask him again. See, because there it's a little bit of sidestep. That was a nice one. And that's why we're doing nice, slow work. There we go. Oh, that's just a little update on this guy. And if you want to see more about his progress and how he does and what we end up doing with him, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed it, hit the like and leave your comments of suggestions. I've dealt with a few horses that duck away like that before, but he is definitely the strongest I've dealt with. So we're looking for any suggestions. I'm open to learning new things to try. So leave those in the comments below, and we'll see you guys again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.